The lights flickered once, then again. The sound in the hallway stopped. No footsteps, no voices, just silence. She held her breath, phone shaking in her hand. The last message on her screen read, "Don't turn around." But it was too late. She felt a cold breath on her neck. Something was there, watching, waiting. What do you think happens next? Tell us where you're watching from in the comments. Like and subscribe so you don't miss what happens after this. Once upon a time, in a small town called Maple Creek, there lived a kind and smart girl named Haley. She worked at a bakery, waking up early every morning to bake bread, cookies, and cupcakes. She didn't have a lot of money, but she had big dreams. One sunny day, a shiny black car stopped in front of the bakery. A tall man stepped out, wearing a suit and sunglasses. His name was Logan. Logan was a millionaire from the big city. He came to Maple Creek for a break from his busy life. He walked into the bakery and said, "One chocolate muffin, please." Haley smiled and handed him the muffin. "Here you go." Logan visited the bakery every day after that. He liked Haley's smile, and she liked how he made her laugh. They went on walks, talked for hours, and soon they fell in love. But one day Logan got a call. "Come back to the city," said the voice. "You have work to do. You can't stay in that little town." Logan looked at Haley and said, "I have to leave." "Will you come back?" Haley asked. He didn't answer. Logan drove away, leaving Haley all alone. Weeks later, Haley found out she was going to have a baby. She was scared. She had no money and the father of the baby was gone. But she didn't give up. She worked harder, saved every penny, and never stopped smiling. Time passed, and Haley's baby was born. It was a little boy with bright blue eyes, just like Logan. She named him Ben. Haley's bakery grew bigger. People from nearby towns came just to taste her cupcakes. She became famous for her sweet treats and even started her own baking show online. Soon she had her own store in the city. One day, many years later, Logan was sitting in his office watching TV. He saw a woman on the screen holding a tray of cupcakes with a boy beside her. The woman had a smile he would never forget. His mouth dropped open. "Haley?" He stood up, shocked, and that's when he noticed the boy's eyes. Logan stared at the screen, frozen. The boy beside Haley had the same bright blue eyes he saw in the mirror every day. His heart started beating fast. "No way," he whispered. "Is that my son?" He grabbed his phone and searched the name of Haley's show. Haley's Sweet World was everywhere now. Videos, interviews, even a bakery tour in the city. She had become a star. Logan felt something strange in his chest. Was it guilt? Was it surprise? Maybe both. He had left her behind without a word. Now here she was, strong and smiling, and with a child who looked just like him. That same day, Haley was busy getting ready for a big baking event. It was her first time doing a live show in the city. Little Ben helped her set up the cupcake table. "Mom, do you think there'll be cameras?" Ben asked, licking a bit of frosting off his finger. "Lots of them," Haley chuckled. "Remember what we practiced? Big smile, and no eating the frosting." Ben laughed. Okay, I'll try." People started to fill the event hall. There were lights, decorations, and the smell of fresh cupcakes everywhere. Haley was talking to a reporter when suddenly she felt a chill on her neck, like someone was watching her. She turned around slowly, and there he was. Logan, standing at the back of the room in a suit, looking nervous. Haley's heart skipped a beat. Ben looked up at her. "Who's that man?" Haley didn't know what to say. She hadn't seen Logan in years. He looked the same, just a little older. maybe sadder. She took a deep breath, wiped her hands on her apron, and started walking toward him. Logan stood frozen as Haley came closer. She stopped just a few feet away. "You're really here," he said quietly. "You left," Haley answered, her voice calm but strong. "Now you're back." Logan looked down. "I didn't know about him, about Ben." "He's your son," Haley said. Logan looked over at Ben, who was now busy organizing cookies on a tray. "He looks just like I did at that age." Haley crossed her arms. "You don't get to show up and act surprised now. We were here. We built this without you." Logan nodded. "I know. I'm not here to take anything. I want to talk." Haley didn't answer right away. Finally, she said, "After the show, we talk. Not now." She turned and walked away, strong as ever. Logan watched her go, wondering if it was too late to make things right. The show began, and Haley put on her biggest smile. But inside her heart was racing. Logan, the man who left her, was standing just a few feet away, watching everything. She shook the thoughts from her mind and focused on what she did best, baking with love. "All right, everyone," she said brightly to the crowd. "Today we're making rainbow cupcakes with a surprise center." Ben stood proudly beside her, wearing a little apron that said Mini Chef. The crowd cheered and the cameras rolled. Haley showed how to mix the batter, pour it into the pans, and fill each cupcake with chocolate inside. Ben added sprinkles on top and made everyone laugh with his silly dance moves. Logan watched from the side, amazed, not just at Haley's baking, but at how confident she was, how happy Ben looked. A wave of regret washed over him. When the show ended, people clapped and lined up to taste cupcakes. Haley wiped her hands and told Ben to stay with her assistant. Then slowly, she walked over to Logan again. "Let's talk," she said. They went outside where it was quieter. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and pink. "I'm sorry," Logan said before she could even speak. "I was a coward. I thought I had to choose between love and my life in the city, so I ran." "You didn't just run," Haley said. "You disappeared. I had no number, no message, nothing." "I know," Logan said, his voice low. "And I was wrong. Every single day I thought about you. I didn't know about Ben. If I had, I would have come back." Haley looked at him. "He's smart, kind, brave, just like I hoped he'd be. But he doesn't know you. He doesn't even know you exist." "I want to fix that," Logan said. "If you let me, I want to know him, to be a part of his life, even just a small part." Haley didn't answer right away. Her eyes were shiny, but she didn't cry. "I don't know if I can trust you," she whispered. "Ben doesn't deserve to be hurt. He's just a kid." Logan nodded. "Then I'll prove it. I'll show you I've changed." Haley looked down at her hands. "One step at a time. That's all I can promise." Just then, Ben ran outside with a cupcake in his hand. "Mom, we forgot the thank you cookies for the helpers." He stopped when he saw Logan. "Is he your friend?" Haley glanced at Logan, then back at Ben. Her heart beat faster. "Yes," she said slowly. "He's someone I used to know." Ben looked up at Logan with curious eyes. Logan gave him a gentle smile. "Hi," Logan said. "I'm Logan." Ben smiled back. "Hi, I'm Ben. Want a cupcake?" Logan chuckled. "I'd love one." Haley stood there, watching the two of them, a storm of thoughts in her head. She didn't know what would happen next, but something had definitely changed. Ben handed Logan the cupcake with a proud grin. "This one has extra sprinkles. I made it myself." Logan took the cupcake carefully, as if it were made of glass. "Thank you, Ben. I can't wait to try it." Haley watched the moment unfold like a slow-moving dream. Ben, her sweet boy, had no idea he was talking to his father. And Logan, he looked different now. Softer, less like a rich man in a fancy suit, and more like someone who had finally remembered what really mattered. Ben pointed to a nearby bench. "We can sit there. Mom always says cupcakes taste better outside." The three of them sat on the bench under a tall tree, the golden light of the sunset making everything look like a painting. Ben bit into his cupcake and got frosting on his nose. Logan smiled and gently wiped it off with a napkin. Haley didn't stop him. "So, Ben," Logan said, "do you want to be a baker like your mom?" Ben nodded quickly. "Yes, but also maybe a superhero, or a zookeeper, or someone who builds robots. I can do more than one thing, right?" Logan laughed. "Of course, you can be anything you want." Haley looked over at Logan, surprised. He didn't just say the words, he meant them. "Ben," she said gently, "why don't you go check on Miss Julie? I think she needed help packing the supplies." Ben jumped up. "Okay, I'm the packing boss." As he ran off, Haley turned to Logan. Her voice was quiet but serious. "You were good with him." Logan looked down at his hands. "He's amazing. You've done a great job, Haley. Really." She nodded, still unsure. "It's not just about being nice once. If you want to be in his life, you have to show up. Be here. No more running." "I understand," Logan said. "I want to start small. Maybe visit sometimes. Get to know him slowly." Haley studied him for a long moment. "He deserves the truth, but not all at once. Let's go slow." Logan looked relieved. "That's fair. Thank you, Haley, for not slamming the door in my face." "I wanted to," she admitted, "but I also saw something in your eyes. Maybe it's real this time." They both stood up as Ben came running back, holding a box of cookie tins. "Look," he said, "I carried them all by myself." Haley smiled. "You're stronger than ever." Logan bent down. "Hey, Ben, would it be okay if I stopped by the bakery sometime? Maybe help with cupcakes?" Ben looked at Haley first. She gave a small nod. "Sure," Ben said, "but only if you wear an apron like mine." Logan laughed. "Deal." And as they walked back into the event hall, Ben skipping ahead, Haley and Logan side by side, something new was beginning. Not perfect, not easy, but maybe, just maybe, the start of something good. The next morning, the little bakery in Maple Creek was buzzing with excitement. Word had spread fast about Haley's big show in the city, and people were lining up outside her shop before the sun had even fully risen. Inside, the air smelled like warm cinnamon and vanilla, and Ben was already helping sprinkle powdered sugar on the muffins. Haley glanced at the door every few minutes. She wasn't sure why. Maybe she was expecting Logan. Maybe she was hoping not to see him. Her heart still felt tangled. Just as she finished placing a tray of lemon bars in the display case, the bell above the door jingled. There he was. Logan. This time he wasn't wearing a suit. Just jeans, a soft gray sweater, and a shy smile. In his hand, he held a small paper bag. "Morning," he said. Haley raised an eyebrow. "You're early." "I wanted to beat the crowd," he said with a grin. "Also, I brought something." She gave him a curious look. "What's in the bag?" He placed it on the counter and opened it carefully. Inside were hand-decorated cookies, messy but sweet-looking. Some were heart-shaped. One had a crooked star. And on the biggest one, in shaky blue icing, it said, "Thanks for letting me try." Haley blinked. "You made these?" "Well, mostly," Logan admitted. "I stayed up half the night watching your old videos and practicing. They're terrible, I know. They're not terrible, Haley interrupted. She picked one up and smiled. They're honest. Just then, Ben burst out of the kitchen. Mr. Logan, you came. Logan crouched down. Wouldn't miss it. You said I could help today, remember? Ben nodded. Yeah, you can start with dishes. That's what new people do. Logan laughed. Dishes it is. Haley handed him an apron. Let's see how long you last before you get frosting in your hair. As the day went on, Logan stayed. He washed pans, packed boxes, and even helped an old woman find her favorite lemon tart. Customers whispered to each other, Who's the new guy? He doesn't seem like a normal worker. Haley just said, He's learning. In the back kitchen, Ben built a tiny cupcake tower. Mr. Logan, he asked, do you live in the city? I do, Logan replied. Are you going to stay here now? Logan paused. That depends. Would you like that? Ben shrugged, his hands sticky with frosting. Maybe, if you're nice. And if you like dogs, we might get one. I love dogs, Logan said with a smile. Haley listened from the doorway. She didn't step in, not yet. She just watched. Later that afternoon, after the bakery had closed and the chairs were up on the tables, Logan stood at the door, ready to leave. I'll come by again tomorrow, he said quietly. If that's okay. Haley didn't answer right away. Then she nodded. It's okay. As he stepped out into the cool evening, Haley looked down at the cookie he'd made. The icing was smudged, the letters wobbly. But for the first time in a long time, she felt something warm in her chest. The next day the sky was cloudy, and the smell of rain was in the air. But inside the bakery, it was bright and warm. Ben was humming a silly tune while stacking napkins into a perfect square tower. Haley was icing a batch of strawberry cupcakes when the bell on the door jingled again. She didn't even have to look. You're late, she called out. Logan chuckled from the doorway. 3 minutes late. You timing me now? She smiled without turning. You're lucky I saved you a cupcake. He walked in, brushing a few raindrops off his jacket. Best reason I've ever had to rush across town. Ben popped out from behind the counter. Mr. Logan, want to see my secret fort? Logan raised an eyebrow. You have a secret fort? In the pantry. Only cool people are allowed. Mom says it's for flour and sugar, but I say it's for adventure. Logan grinned. Lead the way. Haley watched them disappear behind the pantry door, then shook her head, laughing to herself. What is happening to my world, she thought. First he walks out of our lives, and now he's sneaking into pantries like he belongs here. Still, something deep inside her, a quiet part that had been hurt for so long, was beginning to soften. A few minutes later, Logan came out of the pantry wearing a paper crown made of cupcake wrappers. I've been crowned King Sprinkle, he said, bowing deeply. Ben followed, giggling. He passed all the tests. He can stay. Haley raised an eyebrow. Tests, huh? Yep, Ben said. He knew what frosting was made of. He didn't knock over the sugar bags, and he didn't laugh when I said my fort has magic doors. Well then, Haley said, pretending to be serious, I guess he's officially part of the team. Logan gave her a quiet smile. That means more than you know. They spent the afternoon baking, joking, and even teaching Logan how to use the frosting machine. He made a giant mess, of course. Ben got frosting on his nose again. Logan helped wipe it off, just like the first time. Little by little, they felt more like something, a team, a family, maybe. Later, when the shop was closed and the sky outside had turned deep gray, Logan sat with Haley at one of the small tables. He looked nervous. Can I ask you something? She glanced up, curious. What? If I wanted to move here, he said slowly, just part-time at first, would that be crazy? Haley blinked. Move here? From the city? He nodded. I've been thinking about it, a lot. I don't want to miss more time with Ben, or with you. I'm not trying to force anything. I just want to be close. Show you I mean what I said. Haley didn't answer right away. She looked around the shop, at the flower on the counter, the rainbow drawings Ben had made and taped to the fridge, the crooked paper crown sitting beside the tip jar. She looked at Logan, and then she said, "We'll see." And that was more than she'd said in a long, long time. Weeks passed, and Maple Creek slowly changed, for the better. Logan kept showing up, not just to the bakery, but to school plays, soccer games, and even rainy afternoon walks with Ben and Haley. He never tried to rush. He just stayed. And every day Haley led him a little closer. He found a small house on the edge of town. Not too fancy, just cozy enough. He planted flowers in the front and let Ben pick the curtains. Ben called it the frosting house because it was white with a blue roof, like Haley's cupcakes. One sunny afternoon, the three of them stood outside the bakery, watching kids laugh and chase bubbles in the street. Ben held one of Haley's hands and Logan held the other. I like this, Ben said. It feels like a real storybook. Haley smiled. It kinda does. Logan looked at her, his voice quiet. Do you think we get a new ending? One that's better than the last one? She looked up at him, her heart calm now. Not confused, not broken, just full. Not an ending, she said. A new beginning. Then Ben tugged their hands. Can we go get ice cream? I promise I won't spill this time. Probably. They laughed, all three of them. And as they walked down the street, hand in hand, Haley realized something. Sometimes people leave. Sometimes they come back. And sometimes, just sometimes, they stay.